We are underway with the 240 double unders with the heavy rope before 2 rounds of 60 toes to bar and 30 calories on the Echo bike.
The thing I'm looking for as I go from one screen from left to right, Noah Olson on the top left is a very short bounce, and I like that a lot in terms of what that jostling does. Goodmanson to his right, a little bit higher. Now that allows you to stay kind of not missing as much when you push the pace, but that jump should be more of a bounce, and you see that a lot from Noah Olson on the left and Hepner to the right in lanes 1 and lane 3.
Noah Olson, Will Morad, Adrian Moonweiler, they are out front. Jacob Hepner and Cole Sager a little bit back of them.
And just look at the cadence on Noah Olson. I mean, that people forget that is a heavy rope. It's a thick cable. They're weighted handles, and those get devastating at high volume. And 240 of them, that's some serious volume. So this isn't a overlooked buy-in. You should have some respect for the 240, but don't make this whole event about the first set of double unders.
Will Morad was in the lead. He's taken a break, and that has allowed Jacob Hepner now to move out front. Hepner more than halfway through these 240 double unders.
Again, Hepner, one of those athletes he talked about coming in that should bow well. I don't know how well he's going to at least navigate the volume here from the 240, but I don't really see there being anything that's going to trip him up. And like we said with Sam Briggs on the women's side when she was in her heat, he needs to have a good finish in this event because relative to the rest of the field, we got a heavy lift coming up in day number 2. That is not going to be something that's going to bode well for him. So he needs to start getting big points while he has an opportunity to.
Jacob Hepner back on the rope and still in the lead, 164 and counting of those 240 total repetitions. Noah Olson, 7 reps back of him. Adrian Moonweiler and Patrick Vellner fighting for 3rd place. But as we have seen play out over 3 heats of this event, 2 for the women and 1 for the men, this lives up to his name as far as just being the buy-in. The real event starts when they get to the pull-up bar.
On the left side of your screen, you kind of see the dots where all the athletes are around. When you're talking about 30 reps, it's not much on a double unders. You see Chandler Smith on the right side of your screen. A little bit wider arm position than I'd like to see from most people doing double unders. And what that is, if you just stood still with your arms at your sides, you're nice and relaxed. Put them out for your side for about 30 seconds. That's how much of an effect your arm position can have on your shoulder. So he needs to relax his arms a little bit because those toes to bar are coming.
Jacob Hepner is on his toes to bar. First set of 60 as he is the first man done with the double unders. Chandler Smith, we were talking about him, 3rd place overall coming into this event with 250 points. He's only 5 points back of Adrian Moonweiler for 2nd place, but he is 30 points back of Pat Vellner. Vellner still on his double unders. And now Noah Olson has finished up his set of 240, and he will join Hepner on the first set of 60 toes to bar.
Toes to bar, another one of those movements for Noah Olson in lane 1 on the top left to be good for him. Jacob Hepner still holding on to that lead. Now, what I know from him is, he's a very cerebral athlete. He understands kind of where he's at in terms of, volume, rep schemes, and how to break them up. What I'm concerned about is in lane 2, in the middle part and the upper part of your screen, Björgvin Karl Goodmanson is struggling with this heavy jump rope.
Goodmanson has fallen way off the lead pace here. And he's going to be one of the last men done, if not the last man done, with his double unders. Now Patrick Vellner has gotten to work on his toes to bar, but these are your top 5 athletes on your screen. Noah Olson and Jacob Hepner. They are fighting for the lead. Adrian Moonweiler and Saxon Panchik, as Pat Vellner has moved his way into the top 3 and now threatening to take over 2nd place from Noah Olson.
Vellner taking very concerned effort to kind of step back after a small set of toes to bar, shake out the arms, and move into it. What this first 50 needs to do is your own personal buy-in to the rest of the event. You don't want to take this out too hard too soon. I would think more of a negative split attitude. And what that means is the second half being faster than the first half.
Jacob Hepner with 14 reps to go, now 13 before he will get to go to the Echo bike and perform 30 calories on that. He's in the top row, middle of your screen through 291 of the 370 scored repetitions. Bjorgvin Gudmundsson next to him on the left is on the toes bar, looking to make up some ground here as he struggled with the double unders.
Now, what's good for Gudmundsson is that, if you look at the top 3 guys in this heat, he's well behind. But the other 5, Gudmundsson is making up a lot of ground on them so far, and we still have a lot of work left to do. So what BKG can't do is, not that he knows where he's at, right? Just, stick to your game plan and get through this. He can't see the other athletes. That's the hard part. So I won't say that he'll panic because he knows he's behind, because he doesn't. But Gudmundsson still has time to make up. Maybe not get a first place in this heat, but at least take over about 4 or 5 other guys on his way there.
Hebner and Vellner got to the bike for the first time at about the same time, and then Noah Olson was right behind them as well. So they are your top 3, Hebner, Vellner, and Olson here. Vellner, your overall leader coming into the event with 280 total points. Jacob Hebner, he sits in 4th at 230. Noah Olson in 6th place with 225.
I love how relaxed Hebner looks on that bike, looking straight ahead, looking at the clock, trying to focus on what he's trying to do. And what this first bike is of these 30 cals is that active recovery between 2 sets of 60 toes to bar.
You mentioned how smart Jacob Hebner is. He's a former mathematics technician at Fort Leavenworth. He played football at Central Methodist University, but when I talked to him about it, he said they probably just kept me on the team because I raised the grade point average.
We all got to play our part.
Pat Vellner now, who was behind the lead pace on that first set of toes to bar, is now threatening to take the lead here in this heat.
Yeah, the Echo bike is definitely one of those pieces of equipment where size matters. The bigger athletes are going to fare much better on the bike than the smaller ones. And you see Olson and Munweiler on the left. There is a stark difference when it comes to the end. We saw the same thing with Corone in the Heat 1.
Well, Vellner got off first, and he gets to work on his second set of 60 toes to bar before Hebner and Olson. So Vellner is now in the lead. If he can stay towards the front here, he can start putting some real distance between himself and the guys behind him in the overall standings. Adrian Moonweiler right now is in 2nd place overall. He's 25 points back of Vellner, and Moonweiler is still on the bike at the 365 mark. That is when they'll get back to the bike for the second and final time. So Pat Vellner still your leader, 323 reps and counting.
Vellner's in the bottom right corner of your screen in this 4 box, and what I've seen, he's done 3 sets of 6. So his game plan, as it sees now, is maybe do a set of 6, come down, step back, reach up, and go. Vellner's done 4 sets of 6 up until this point.
And he is your leader, but not by much, as Hebner and Olson are trying to keep pace. Cole Sager, meanwhile, starting to creep up. He's in 4th. And Bjorgvin Gudmundsson has made up some ground. Still has more to go, but he now sits in 5th place in this heat. But these are 2 of your top 3. Vellner on the right, your leader in this heat. Hebner's on the left. He sits in 2nd. The time to beat, once again, belongs to Alexander Corone unofficially at 11:09.
Now, what Vellner did is that he changed his technique on the toes of bar on the right side of your screen, is that he's not letting the heels come back as far as he did in the first 4 sets. If you look to the left of Hebner, look how far he'll reach back with his heels and almost wind up to get that toes to bar, where Vellner is going straight down and doing more of that tuck position. It's what I said, is change your technique to navigate your way through these reps.
Vellner with now 11 to go before he'll get back to the bike. Jacob Hebner is starting to catch up. Noah Olson has fallen off that lead pace, so he is solidly in 3rd right now. Cole Sager sits in 4th. 100 points to the winner, and then it's a 5-point difference as you work your way down the results here. "13-minute time cap. As Vellner is done and now onto the bike for the final time, and here comes Jacob Hebner. So the same thing developing that we saw in the first heat, but this time it's just 2 athletes as opposed to 4 who are going to sprint to the finish on the Echo bike, and Vellner looking much faster than he was the first time he got on the bike.
And what he did is he just went right to the bike and just started grinding on him. I don't know what Vellner was doing on the left. He was messing with his grips as if that's going to deter how you're going to handle your bike. So Vellner is definitely going to run away with this one between him and Vellner.
Well, Patrick Vellner looking for another event win and to really solidify his grip on the top spot in the overall standings, as he has now just 6 calories to go. So Pat Vellner is going to make it 2 straight here, and he's going to win event 3 and put another 100 points in his pocket, and he will be your overall leader after day 1.
Absolutely incredible performance by Vellner, especially those last 30 cals on the bike.
Jacob Vellner, who came in 4th place overall, he might find himself in 2nd, because right now he is beating the 2 men in front of him, and that is Chandler Smith and also Adrian Moonweiler. And Jacob Vellner never met a camera he didn't like. And we appreciate the effort for him to keep it entertaining here, as now Noah Olson is trying to hold off Cole Sager for 3rd place. So Olson is in. His time of 11:31.70 unofficially right now, good for 7th in the event. Sager's in, and he will take 4th in the heat, 8th place in the event. And this is a bit of a surprise, as Björgvin Gudmundsson not in the lead pack here in this final heat.
And that was all due to his first 240 double unders. That was just so slow and inconsistent, but he has made up a lot of ground because he was last getting into the second half of this event.
About 40 seconds to go before we hit the 13-minute time cap. Björgvin Gudmundsson, 6 calories to go. Looks like he's going to make it inside that 13-minute mark. Gudmundsson 5th place overall coming into this event, hoping not to fall back any farther in the standings, is now Saxon Panchik. He's getting set to close out his event with 15 seconds to go before we hit the time cap. Will Morad is in meanwhile. Panchik and Chandler Smith have finished. And Adrian Moonweiler looking like he's going to get time capped. That's big for Jacob Vellner, as Vellner looks to find himself right behind that.